and fans, and you can tune in at twitch.tv/Darude. I gotta put my mic pack in. And I have given out a WhatsApp number, which you can see when you dial into the stream, twitch.tv/Darude. Moi Janne, moi Jouni, moi Seppo, hi Victoria, moi Laura. So I'm giving out a WhatsApp number. You can text, it comes to me, I read those messages and I comment on some of them, and I call some of you guys sending me that message. Hey Huge, you can call me too. And then today I'm gonna have a special guest, a call with my man Andy Moor. None other than Andy Moor, who's released 1 million records on several record labels and has his own record company. I've had the pleasure of working with him and hanging out with him several times over the years. Top dude, or bloke should I say, he's British. And what else? Yeah, so here I am in my studio waiting for the stream to start and getting excited. Oh, I do have the WhatsApp number here if you want it. It is +358 40 36 17 130. +358 40 36 17 130. Gianluca, Forza Italia. But guys, there on Facebook, I urge you to go to twitch.tv/Darude. The stream has already begun. We are on the waiting page right now. And oh, I just noticed that I am actually live there with my microphone anyway. Well, that's good. So we have 5 minutes to go until the actual full on stream. And I should actually check my stuff. Yeah, sound-wise, everything should be good for the calls as well. And so I have decided to make these streams only happen, the main streams only happen on Twitch, so that we get the best quality, we don't get cutouts when I'm DJing, and I think Twitch community is such a nice and warm thing, and I love you guys on Facebook, and I want to come here and keep on coming here like I have before, but I think the full-on streams are way better on Twitch only. Hey Amber! Moi Vesku! Pitkästä aikaa, mitä kuuluu? All right, so I just started getting messages from WhatsApp. Nice. Good questions coming in. Maybe a little bit on the private side, but well, oh well, whatever. Am I into Hernan Cataneo and Nick Warren kind of progressive? I kind of am, though I don't know if I make that kind of stuff myself. It's a good vibe for me to have in the background of like amazing get together with good bunch of friends, or then and then don't get me wrong, I'm not dissing the music, but then it's just in the background. It's nice to sometimes stop and move and groove, but it's not too loud. It's just like there. But then if you want to really get down with it, you have to be at a club, have a proper setup, have a proper ambiance. And for me, it takes a little while to get into the groove because that's a little different music. Let's just say trance and the type of house and big room and whatever I'm more into and whatever I'm playing is a little more, has builds and drops, and it's a little more of the uplifting and the peaks of the thing. And then their stuff is more into a little more in the storytelling on a longer journey level kind of. Tuomo Keränen, paljonko luen kommentteja lähetyksen aikana? Koko ajan. I read all the comments that I have time to on the stream, and I on the chat on Twitch, and then also I do that on the phone, the WhatsApp. On the stream. Whoa, and I take sound out of that because we don't need it. All right, we have people already on Twitch tuning in. Cool. Nick Wax is up and going. Hey, Anneli. What is going on? All right, people. So we have 5:59 p.m. in Finland, and I'm about to go full on live with my face and all on Twitch. The stream is already live. Dial into twitch.tv/Darude and you will find me. And you have to have an account to take part in the chat, but you can just follow without an account if you don't want to create one. Hey, Sariel. It was nice meeting you too. And Ryan West, hi. Okie dokie, guys. We are going to go live on Twitch, full on. Hey, people, what is up? I just signed in, full on, and I see my mic is working, and I'm feeling good. Guys, I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just delirious, but I woke up really early this morning. Well, early for me, 6:30, was in the studio recording something, a video thing, and editing it, before 7. I've been here all day and I have this kind of drive going on today, so I'm happy. So, hey, Vera in Hanover. Ariel, Vera, Tuomo, Tangier, Melanie, Pauline, Brett, Ryan, Sariel, Shas, Hank, Anneli, Angela, Mia, Victor, Laura, Ville Kontio, Amber and all. Jump on Twitch. It is Dial It In, and I am going to end this Facebook stream right now. Thank you so much for tuning in here. This was my sound check for Dial It In, and now I'm going to start reading people's messages and calling them. See you on the Twitch side. All right, guys. Now we are off Facebook, and here we are. Somebody asked me about the soul patch. How long have I had it? Well, I mean, when you have something like this is the only facial hair that grows on you, you just keep it. And I think I've grown it one hair at a time since I was, I want to say 14 years old. I don't know. Well, when I was in the army, I actually had to shave it. But after the army, I don't know a time when I would have. It's always been there, and I don't know. I don't see a reason to take it off. So quick browse through the chat here, and then I'm going to take a couple messages. So North Carolina, Indiana, Nico the Hero, you like the shirt? I like it too. It's bright color, right? My hoodie matches my graphics. You noticed. Do I still make money from Sandstorm? Yes, dude, I'm swimming in it. Nottingham, UK. UK there as well. Who else is from UK? And hey, I see Finland there. Good bunch of Finn peeps. So in about half an hour or so, there'll be Andy Moor joining us for the stream. And that's going to be cool. He's such a nice guy, and he's got such a nice long history in dance music as well. It's going to be good to talk to my man Andy. And cool. Let's see. Who do we have? Again, this is funny because now I don't have names on this. Okay, let's try this one. Okay, we got a line working.
Gloria.
Hello, this is Ville, or Darude.
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
I am awesome.
Fantastic. You have so many social media streams that you have to look after. It would be great if you just had one, right?
I know, but yeah, I'm actually trying to like now concentrate it more on a Twitch, not forgetting anybody else, but that's going to be my main outlet for the actual longer streams. But then I will be definitely taking part in all the other stuff that, you know, the Twitters and Facebooks and stuff that I've done before as well, but possibly more bite-sized stuff there, and then yeah,
I was trying to actually purchase the Twitch, but every time I was going there, then I was like losing your feed, and I'm like, well, I'll do it later. So is your WhatsApp number, is that always the same?
Yes, and yeah, you can reach me there. It's actually on 24/7, but I only
so my question was, oh, I apologize.
No,
go ahead.
No, I only use it on these Wednesdays because otherwise I would have to be on it all the time.
Right.
But your question is?
My question is your signature chin hair. Like, you've had that for years, right? Like, when did you start?
I would say decades now.
Yeah, gosh, yeah, we are much older now.
Yes, yeah, I've I don't know. I've had it since well, a little before the army, but when I was in the army, I got out exactly when I was 20 years old. So since then, I don't think I've once shaven the whole soul patch off.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it's definitely your signature look. I love it though.
Well, thank you for that. I mean, you're making me blush, but
oh no,
I get some crap for it here and there, but at the same time, you know, I do look in the mirror, but it's the same thing as, you know, people should actually see their noses when they have their eyes open, but they don't because their brain is sort of filtering it out. When I look in the mirror, I don't really register my patch other than when it's, you know, running too wild, and I just clean it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And so it's the other people who need to deal with it. And my wife, I guess she likes it because she hasn't made me do anything bad to it, and she's made me change so many ways of mine other than that. So I think she's cool with it.
It's not a crazy overgrowth where it's, you know, scratching her face when you hug or anything. So
Yeah, exactly. And
Well,
oh,
thank
hey,
you.
I know,
Yeah.
I know we're going really, really, really up close and personal here, but I can tell you another kind of neat and for somebody gross fact about this little patch of hair. Now that we're talking about it, my
Yeah.
dog or our dog Texas, an Italian Greyhound, he is the one who is doing my daily grooming to it.
He licks it, doesn't he?
He doesn't lick it. He
Yeah.
loves to nibble it,
Oh,
and he is so good. He's never once fully bitten me like proper. He just nibbles the hair.
oh my gosh,
Yes.
that's funny. How old is he?
He's turning 11. Is it? Yeah, this month, I think. Yeah.
Wow. That is funny. I'm sure
Yep.
there's some food and whatnot occasionally. There's got to be some type of
Yeah, well, I guess so, but
maybe a smell or something of something delicious you ate that
yeah,
but that is funny that he nibbles it. I
yeah,
could see him like licking it like crazy.
yeah.
Well, thank you for calling. Gosh, hopefully I'm not cutting into anybody else's questions for you.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Good.
And so we are gonna let you go and go
Yeah.
about your day. And hold on, so you are in Ohio?
Correct.
Yeah.
Actually, in Dayton, Ohio. It's a suburb. I actually live in Oakwood. It's just a suburb of Dayton.
Okay.
Um, yeah.
Cool. All right.
It's
Well,
easy to say Dayton, Ohio. Thank you so much.
that,
It's Vila?
yes. And
Yes. All right.
and thanks for picking up and thanks for joining the stream.
No, thank you for answering my question.
All right.
Have a good day.
Later.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Well, so that's interesting. Now you know about my facial hair. Um, cool. Let's see if Mike is on the line or near his phone.
Hello.
Hello, did I reach Mike?
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Darude, what's up?
Yeah,
How are you?
how are you?
I'm I'm good.
Did you have a question for me?
I'm from yeah, I'm from Israel. I am a success DJ from Tel Aviv,
Okay.
and I play techno, house, and all the kinds like this. And I heard your old track called "Feel the Beat," the Robbie Rivera remix.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
So I'm looking for his, wave quality or HD quality,
To no avail. Okay.
I did.
I can help you with that, but I'll get back to you at some point after the stream today, and I'll sort it out for you. I think back then it was sold on vinyl only. I do have a digital master of it, but I don't know, to be honest, if it is available on any of the stores. You know what? I've seen it on one of my like there's these special edition albums where one disc is the regular album and then the other one is like a remix album. And I do have it digitally somewhere, but it could be quite hard to find. So I'll sort it out, and as long as you promise to play it for your Israeli crowds.
I mean, I'm not doing the vinyl. I play, MP3
Hmm.
and wave. I don't use vinyl or something like
Yeah,
that.
I don't
So
either.
I ask you if you can send me, in Gmail or Facebook, and it's okay for me to pay for this, yeah?
I'll sort you out, man. It's all good. I have your WhatsApp number now, so I will send you a message after the fact. Okay?
Okay, so you want to send me that in? You want I send you my email?
Yeah, please do that. do that.
Okay, and Darude, I wanna tell you, you love kind like techno music?
Yes, I do. I mean, I don't exactly make techno myself, but I got my start myself sort of in happy hardcore stuff, which is obviously not techno, but then also like this back then around 98, 99 techno stuff. And I was working with, for instance, a software called Rebirth, which is just a 303 bass line and 909 drums. So
Yeah.
that's very bare bones and sort of very automatic techno stuff when you create stuff with that. It's sort of one of the foundations of so many things. Obviously, techno is.
No man. Yeah.
Yes.
I got you. It would be pride for me if you can heard my techno set on YouTube, and I have a Facebook page called Bike Vegas. This is my stage name.
Okay.
I'd have to send you a page too if you want.
You know what? So you have my number. Please send your email address in as a message, and then link up anything you want, YouTube or something like that in a message as well. I'll check them out.
Okay. Okay.
Cool, man. All right, I'm gonna take another call. Thanks, Mike, for picking up.
Thanks for you, Darude. You're the best.
All right, man. Bye.
Bye bye.
All right, we had Mike from Tel Aviv. Mike Vegas, his DJ name is. All right. Let's do this one then. I think we're calling, hold on, is this UK? And maybe we'll turn on the line too.
Hey, man.
Hey, who am I talking to?
How you doing? It's Scott.
Say again, sorry.
Scott.
Okay, nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you too.
Whereabouts are you?
Nottingham in the UK.
Yeah, well, I figured +44. Nottingham.
Yeah.
All
yes.
right.
It's nice and wet here today.
Is it really? Well,
Yeah.
At least you didn't say moist.
It's a little moist.
Oh, okay, that too. All right, take your mind off the gutter, please.
Okay.
So
It's out.
what else is going on there?
So, yeah, working today. And, yeah, I mean, the question I've got for you is something that I've been looking into making music for the last couple of years. I'm using Ableton Lite, but I remember Rebirth that you just mentioned back in the day.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, my question is, how do you come up with like really like innovative new chord progressions for your music that you're creating?
I would love to say that they just pop in my head and I
Yeah.
via music theory I think of them and this and that, but it's all a no for me. I am very much a trial and error kind of guy, and a lot of times, like I don't, how can I say, I don't put myself down anymore because of not having perfect music theory knowledge. And I've gathered obviously quite a lot more over the years just by doing stuff. But I, in a way, unfortunately, I didn't go to a music school back in the day, and I didn't take piano lessons or anything like that. So I'm just self-taught, and it's still the same. That sort of something that I hear in something guides me. So.
So when it sounds good to you, that's when you think, oh, this is something that's
yes,
to use.
and it's like let's just say I could be in a car, and this is just a cheesy example, but I could be in a car, and then I'm driving on a road that has these, it's like concrete slabs and not asphalt. So then there's a rhythm there because the car goes like. So I start hearing something in that. But then it could be that the song on the radio or a car goes by and I hear, and that triggers some sort of chord or harmonic thing in my head, right? And then
Brilliant.
Then that makes me go like together usually with the rhythm or some sort of pace, I start thinking of kind of chord progression with harmony in mind and then the timing in mind, like whether I'd like to go like long 1-bar chords or, you know, quick ones, or long one, a couple of quick ones, so that it resolves and whatnot. And I think my strength is that I'm very sort of seventh, ninth diminished person, in a sense that the strength being that most regular people who don't have musical education can easier relate to simpler stuff, which is what I tend to write myself. I'm not saying that's the more complex chords are bad, of course, not at all, and I look for those as well. But I think that's sort of my strength, and my weakness is that I've worked with several people who actually have huge knowledge and also like sort of a backbone, muscle memory, and whatever, and they just play
Does that
whatever.
help?
Yeah,
Collaborating with them.
Yes, and but it's amazing collaborating with them, because I can see that they just, based not only in their musicality but also their sort of automatic knowledge in theory, how they can find the different chords or chord progressions that would work here, and then they just quickly go through them, but I have to sort of like stumble on them.
Trial and error.
Yes. So
but that's fun though, isn't it, as well?
It is fun, and I still make music a lot of times sort of with trial and error, and I say this thing where I beat chord progressions or melodies, but I try to create these conditions for happy accidents. So I'm first of all trying to be in a good mood, which makes me creative and inspired, but then I'll just, for instance, if I don't have any musical thing that I just right now want to go off from, then I'll just make like a bass line or drum thing and have that running, and then I just listen to it so long as I'll start hearing something in it. But that initial thing can't be just a dull kick and clap, fours and eights or whatever, but it has to have some sort of groove, some sort of movement, so that I start either jumping up and down or grooving, or it can be a shuffle, it can be anything. But then that steers me to the next thing. So it's like Lego blocks. It just builds over time.
You play that over and over, and then you just play something over the top of it when you've got something, and if it sounds good. And
very often I take a melodic, some sound that I like, and I slap on a delay. Sometimes it's an even eighth or fourth. Sometimes it's a triplet. Sometimes whatever. And I start playing things, and then those delayed notes, together with the notes that I play, can create harmonies that spawn thoughts in my head again. And that way I might have a monotonous bass line playing, and I play something that fits on top of that, but then that guides me where the bass should go up or down, and steers towards chord progression. Right?
Oh, gotcha. Right. That's really useful. Thank you.
Yeah. And somebody in the chat said that you're never too late to study, more music theory and stuff, and that's absolutely right, and that's what I do. But the only thing that I don't do is I don't know, this is maybe an excuse, but I don't have time to do like programmed actual studying with a teacher, which that would benefit me the most. And I've obviously seen that with my son, who is now played for 5 years, and he's really good with piano already.
Yeah, really.
And but we've also had him do that, and regularly, twice or so every week, and then some concerts here and there with, so I envy him, but then at the same time it's my own sort of choice and priorities that keep me doing what I do now.
Right. Well, keep at it, because it's still good.
Oh, yeah, I'm trying. But I know that was a long monologue, but thank you for asking. That was a really good question.
No, it's brilliant. That's helped me a lot, because I want to obviously expand my abilities and skills. So I'll take some of that on board. Thank you.
I'll add one more thing to that. So it took me a really, really long time. Like I said, I referred to the people I've worked with who are very skilled in live playing, for instance. And I felt down about that for a while at some point. But then I realized that you know, especially now, I mean, I've been 20 years in the business, but you know, 10 years on and whatever, I started realizing at some point that, you know, I'm still being booked, I still make music, I still get releases, this and that, you know, it can't be that bad, right? So then I started trusting myself, and these days I sort of trust my process, and it goes with, you know, the speed of what I do. Sometimes I feel that I'm really, really slow, and I sidetrack a lot and whatnot. But then I trust that eventually I basically come back harmonically to the point where I left off and where I want to end up. And sometimes it does take a day or an hour, and I thought it would take 2 minutes. And then, but I don't worry about it anymore, because I know that you know, somewhere in the back of my brain, I'm sort of processing that thought or that path. And then when I come back to it, it's like, oh, okay, you know. So there was a sort of a
bit fresher.
Yes, and there was some sort of a reason why I did that detour. I might have learned something doing that, or I might have found the next part, but I needed to go there first before I got to the first part that I was looking for. I don't know. But I'm trusting my process now more than I've ever have. And so that's
good. So that gives you a lot more sort of not commitment, but sort of like strength in what you're doing is right.
Yes, exactly. And that's important, so that even, you know, and I've recognized that I'm not the greatest live player, for instance, or quickest to come out with, get my stuff out of my head. But then some other people might be brilliant with the keys or strings or whatever, but they might not be, I don't know, whatever, something that I'm strong at. So you know, it's hard, or I think it's a mistake to directly compare oneself to other people's skills, even though I do it myself as well. But then I try to like rein my thoughts back here and there.
Yeah, I don't think you're alone in that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but so that's basically to sort of reassure, like, you just need to just trust that your sound is what you want to do, and it's good.
Yeah. Yes.
Cool.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Thanks for the chat.
Thank you. Yeah, right. Take care.
You too, man. Later. Bye. All right, so yeah, a lot of people in the chat know music theory. Some don't, and I think it's all good. Like I said, it's I mean, I have a good bit of sort of experience, knowledge, and I surprise myself oftentimes that I know more than I sort of think I do. But it's hard for me to talk with the like right lingo, like knowing all the names of chords and stuff like that. But then I could describe a lot of stuff with, you know, how I feel about it or how it makes me feel, or you know, various attributes of the sound, or the either rhythm or the progression. Yes, thank you, Nick. Okay. All right, let's take this one as well. This is a good one. And then at some point soon, we're gonna see if Mr. Andy Moor is available.
Hello.
Hello?
This is Jeff.
Hey, Jeff. What's up, man?
Hello there.
I am Ville.
Hi, Vila.
Hey.
I'm calling from Indiana.
Indiana, all right. What's going on there?
I was just curious about playing live sets and like what the best process is, whether it's playing the entire set in advance or whether it's better to just be, you know, proficient at transitions and to decide as you go along.
All right, so I am not going to say what's best. I can tell you what I do, and because every DJ does things their own way, and you know, you can take notes from others and try their way, obviously, and then figure out if it works for you. This is a really great question, honestly, and it's because like there's so many ways of doing it, and there's also schools of thought that are very die-hard, leaning one way or another. Like there are people who say you never should program your DJ set. You just should,
Sure.
go by the gut feeling and read the crowd. And there are people who do program a lot. There are even people who pre-record and play that recording, which,
Sure.
yeah. I do a lot of prep work, and I plan a set. And please listen carefully, not just you, but everybody, because there's a rhyme and reason to what I'm going to say. I plan my set really carefully from A to Z. I do,
Okay.
like from the BPM starting, depends on the set a little bit, of course, but BPM starting slower, building, going through like more progressive sounds to then uplifting sounds, then couple of sort of change the pace kind of tracks, and then more uplifting trance and a little higher BPM, and basically from slower and subdued to more energy and more explosive towards the end. But
Okay.
me planning it like that, so if in a 2-hour set, if I play at a club, I'll play 35 or so tracks, but I have 100 to 200 tracks in my set list that are sort of in that order in a certain way, and I have bunches of tracks that go together. So I have, say, A minor tracks, couple of them, 2 to 5 tracks in the same bunch. Then something that fits with that, it would be D minor or E minor tracks, for instance. And those bunches, and out of those bunches, after figuring out how that place works, how that crowd works, what works tonight, I skip, 1 to 5 and play one of them maybe, and then I go to the next one. And why I said to A minor to E minor or whatever is because I mix harmonically most of the time, but not religiously. And for me, that gives the best of both worlds. Like I'm very prepared and not stressed about what should I play, because I know what worked last week at a club similar to this one, or an event
Right.
similar to this one. I know my set list tracks, how they work, sort of why they work, or at least to a point. And so I never play the same set twice, but if you heard me 2 nights in a row, then you'd maybe hear 50% of the same set or bunches of tracks that I play a similar way because they just work, right?
Sure.
But then if you hear me 3 months apart, you'd hear maybe 10 or 20% of the same set, and those same tracks would be my tracks or some classics that I just like to often play in different places. And so most of the tracks would have rotated out and new tracks would come in. And that system works really well for me. It keeps me interested in the music I play. I don't get tired of certain tracks if I don't overplay them for myself. And then I also sort of crowd-wise know what kind of stuff works. And obviously I don't mean that by that I'm some sort of wizard knowing what works, but the 50 to 75% works, and then the rest of it is all like it's individual nights and crowds are always different.
Well,
Yeah, so go ahead.
that's really helpful, and I'm just like a in my home DJ just to play for me and my family just for fun, and I'm just starting out, so that's really helpful information.
Okay.
Hopefully this virus will go away and I can see you live in person to see it happen.
Yeah, man. Don't we all hope that? Like it's very interesting and sometimes highly frustrating and even frightening on many levels. But this is what I can do to keep myself connected with you and with the followers and fans and music lovers. And
It's so great because we don't have live music in our lives.
Yeah.
And no matter what you listen to, and I have a wide variety of music that I like to see live. I can see anything live.
Yeah.
It's just weird not to have that opportunity, whether it's being at a club or whether it's a country music star, whatever it is, just not to be able to see something live is frustrating.
It is quite strange, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, thank you for doing this. We appreciate it, and I'll let the next person ask their question.
All right, man. I think we're going to actually see if I can get Andy Moor, my buddy,
Oh,
on
terrific.
the line and see what he's up to.
All right. Thank you, and have a great day.
All right, thank you too. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Cool. Let's see. All right, cool. Andy is not ready yet, which is totally fine because we're going to be hanging out here for a good while. And let's see. Did you guys get any ideas of my response to how I plan my DJ set, or how, well, a DJ could plan their sets? All right. Morwick. Depends on the price. I can sell the Triton in a corner. Actually, no, I don't think I will, because while I have the Triton plugin right now, which is amazing, by the way, has everything that is in it, but now in a plugin format. So I love this keyboard. I've had it for so long, early 2000s, and for me, I still love how the keys feel when you play it. It's very particular to that chord line. It's a very different synth touch than, for instance, this one here. And then I know it's maybe a little wrong to have it sitting in the corner there, but it is present in my everyday life still. Right. Yeah, Triton is a Rompler, absolutely. So I don't think I'll be able to part my ways. But you know what? I have a Triton rack unit that I am willing to part with, though. So yeah. The only thing about the VST, by the way, is that thing, as well as the rack unit, has a sampler in it, and then it also has the song feature, where you can do the 16-part MIDI, well, basically control 16 parts of that via MIDI. And I wish that they would just make the plugin so that you could do that, because then opening my old files would be so simple. And some of my old project files use the sampler, and they also use the multi, or the, what do you call that, song mode, maybe I think it is called, that there's 16 MIDI tracks, and then you can then you could really easily, without any hassle, or in your DAW, do the same thing. Lord Scott Warren, that's a Moog right there. That's a sub 37, and I really like it. The thing that is next to the Triton, that's a Novation Remote 49 Compact. That's a MIDI controller, MIDI keyboard. So not, while it's a nice keyboard, and I used that a lot for at some time, 10 years ago or so, but it's not as fancy as the, well, less known 707, for instance. Because I use Tractor Pro, have I tried any of the controllers for it? Well, I DJ actually with the X1 as my, DJ regular track controller, and then F1, which controls a remix deck. Or if I use Ableton Live in that set as well, it acts as an Ableton Live controller as well. I've tried the S8, and I really like it. It would be actually cool to have one when I DJ, but I don't want to lug it around. And so these nice X1 and F1, they fit in my backpack both with the laptop, and I'm good to go as long as the place where I play has a 900 mixer. and obviously I need backups as well. So I have CDJ 2000 Nexus 2s in my writer as well. Cool. All right, we're gonna do a call. There was a question from Kuala Lumpur. Let's see if he or she is on the line. All right, Andy, I'm gonna get to you soon. All right, so that is not happening. So I'm gonna just see if I can call Andy. And I need to fiddle with a couple of things here, people. I hope my stream can handle it. Let's see. Yo, do we have?
Yo, how are you?
We do. Hold on a sec. Nice. Andy, do you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So I'm gonna cut.
Can you hear me? Cool.
My mic they need to hear, and I think we are quite okay now levels wise. What's up, my man?
Good, good. How are you?
I am great. I've now streamed for 40 minutes and yapped people's ears off, so
Good,
it's all good.
Good, man. Good to see you.
Likewise, man. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have Mr. Andy Moor on the line, and he's prepared to bear all. Or maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not.
not.
It's the wrong channel.
Hey, Andy, I've been trying to think, when was it that we met the first time?
Phew, I'm not sure.
The
Can't remember.
time I remember is we both played at Winter Music Conference, and I want to say 2006 or 7. It was this, it was probably Clevelander or something like that. The DJ booth was in a corner on a raised platform.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that.
Sorry?
Yeah. Was it upstairs in some kind of dark room?
Yes.
Yeah,
and, I think that was when we met the first time. I don't know if we exchanged too many words at that point, because I think I was playing and you came in and played after me. But that's my sort of first memory of you personally. But around the time I'd heard of you many times, because you had a couple of brilliant tracks out before that as well. But I remember like White Room with Adam White, and then there was Air for Life, for instance, and which, by the way, I dug some info out here. So, dude, you got the best dance record award at the IDMAs at Winter Music Conference in 2006 for Air for Life, right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, I'm glad you remember the year. Because,
yeah, it's 2006. I looked at some Wikipedia stuff, and then so White Room, you and Adam, I guess, then were, in 2005 you were the best trance producer and best trance track at the Trance Awards that year. So those are quite cool, cool little tidbits. And no wonder I had heard about you at that point.
Yeah, I think those were the years I was most active.
Yeah. When did you start making dance music? Like, what was your beginning story?
I suppose there's different stages. I was trying to make it when I was a kid with rudimentary hardware and software, which didn't really get me anywhere. But it was like it was a learning curve. So I was like 15, 16.
Yeah.
And then I suppose when I finally got to the quality which was able to be released was around 1998 kind of time.
All right.
99 maybe.
Okay, so if you made a record where you had to use your track "Violent City" on Baroque Records, what would you keep of it, and what would you definitely toss of it?
That's an old track. Yeah. I think if I remember rightly, that tune, I think it used to be more percussive led. So we used to spend a lot more time, trying to make rhythms out of the percussion and actually use the percussion as a melody almost. So I'd keep some of those kind of toned percussive drums.
Yeah, it was interesting. I mean,
what I would lose? I would probably lose the flabby kick drums.
I'm sorry, man. I'm not trying to put you on a spot or anything, but it was just interesting because I remember my old tracks and not that yours. This was like you said, sort of release quality, and it was a sound of that time, anyways. But there's definitely tracks that I hope that nobody ever finds anywhere because they might be somewhere out there, but luckily under some different names and maybe not recognizable.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I used to have tracks out under different names before that when I used to engineer for people and produce with them. And then these tracks under my name back then were just demos basically, which the label actually just released. So I didn't really have much control over what happened back then.
So we have people, common friends, and you made a track with Orchidea back in the day called Year Zero. How did that come about? Like, I've actually never even asked Dopsa that. How did you guys meet?
I'm not sure. Again, my memory is pretty hazy from beyond 2 days ago. But Tapsa was, when I was working with Liam and Moor, when we were working as a duo. He was around a lot then, and he was producing a similar kind of sound, and there wasn't too many people producing that kind of sound back then. So we kind of knew each other through communication over the internet, and then I suppose we would have met over during gigs, and then we just became friends, and then made a track. He came to my place in the UK, and it just all went from there. Basically, he's a pretty cool guy.
Well, it's sort of funny how. I like to think that the good people are, have longevity in whatever they do. And like, I've known Tapsa for a long time. He's he's kind of like our godfather. He's our Paul Oakenfold, but he's like one of our pioneers. He's arranged all kinds of illegal warehouse parties when he was, 15 or something like that. And now he's head of, I think he's head of music at our BBC, so to say, and he's still gigging and probably doing better than ever. And in fact, there's a Mayday party that I'm playing tomorrow, virtually or online, of course, with Orchidea here in Finland, and I get to share the booth with him for. Both of us will play for 2 hours tomorrow. And
that's good.
By the way, it's on my Twitch channel.
When did you first meet Tapsa?
I don't remember exactly, but it must have been, so I started working with my back then producer, J16, in 99, and with him I went to parties in Helsinki where I hadn't really been out like that before, and Jaakko, J16, was friends with and familiar with anybody in a club scene in Helsinki at that time. So at one of those parties, and he DJ'd all the time everywhere, and he arranged his parties as well. So must have been 99 or 2000.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, he still looks the same now as he did then.
Sorry?
He said he still looks the same. He doesn't seem to age. A bit like yourself, actually.
Exactly.
You guys.
He looks
these
exactly
saunas
the
and
same.
these cold. Yeah.
I actually took a new listen to the mixes. So I think it's the original mix that it actually sounds a lot like Orchidea's style. I recognize the bass line sound or the style, and then the First Light mix, I think that is more yours. I don't know if that's true,
Yes,
but
yeah. Yeah, I think if I remember rightly, he came with the bassline idea anyway. I think that was right. And then we got the melody and stuff at my place. And then
yeah,
I think he finished off that original mix in the end. And then
yeah.
I did the First Light mix, yeah.
Around the time when I started actually DJing, because I started doing live shows first. I had hardware sequencer and a synth and a sampler and whatnot, and I sort of DJed because I had these layers of my own tracks on CDs. So that's how I learned how to beat match, because I needed to beat match my own stuff. And then I played live stuff and triggered stuff and effects and whatnot on top of that. But then I started DJing, and actually it was around 2004 change or so. And so around the time when White Room was or had come out, and then also Air for Live Year Zero. So I'm not saying this because we're talking right now, and I mean, I don't have to kiss your ass. We're buddies, but I literally, your stuff at that time was one of the first things that I was actually playing DJ sets with. That kind of style and your actual music, too.
Yeah.
So I have very fond memories of that.
Yeah, well, a strange thing is, actually, you've just reminded me, is that prior to that era and probably just after that era was I never used to play my own stuff. I always used to play the more progressive stuff, the stuff like with the drums and the more groovy bass lines and things. I didn't really venture into trance that much until around that kind of era, I think. So I used to make music of a certain style, but I'd still DJ out more with more tribal, percussive, and I suppose more progressive.
Okay. All right. There's a question from the chat. What is the story behind the White Room project?
The story, well, it's Adam White and myself made a few tunes, and again, just going back to those days, I just wasn't. We made this tune together, and I just wasn't sure that it was right. I just felt it was too generic, and in the end, we just shelved it for 6 months, and then left it as a demo, and then it ended up getting signed as it was.
Yeah.
And then again, it shows how things work when you least expect them.
Yeah. I think also. Oh, sorry, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, go on.
No, I think the time was definitely different. It was simpler, and electronic dance music wasn't in the mainstream, and it was much more, not even talking about the business, but the music even still was much more DIY, and in that way, like, I've often thought that if I'd start now, I don't know if I'd go anywhere, if I'd be anything. Like, for instance, if you released, I mean, my hit record, my claim to fame, Sandstorm, if you released it today and nobody had heard it before, it might be that it would just be like, noise in the sea of noise. You never know that. Yeah. So it's interesting to think how we've had sort of a similar time span of our careers, that we've seen the scene change so much.
Yeah, and like you were saying, it's more DIY. Back then, we did a lot of bootlegs, and you could press up your own tune, and where there was ingenuity was in finding a way to make it. Basically, you'd have to find a way to get your track released, whether it was pressing it up yourself, targeting the labels, and in different ways than you do these days. And there was no rules. There's no set rule. You'd find a way. Yeah.
And I mean, things like, I remember these crazy cool stories. It just popped in my head, but like, do you remember the Bob Marley bootleg initial "Sun Is Shining"? And then it became a release. Like, that's just one example that popped in my head, where people had these at least amazing stories where whoever made it, I don't even know, well, Funkstar Deluxe, but I don't know who that is personally.
Yeah.
But so then all of a sudden, like, it exchanges hands in Ibiza, and the next thing
Yeah.
you know, it becomes a hit record, and that's about, you know, 20 or 100 test pressings or just white labels. And that kind of
That's
stuff
it.
doesn't happen like that anymore. Like, it's just
No.
sort of impossible. Nobody cares. Or
Yeah, it's certainly interesting times when, like you say, you'd have 5-10 acetates pressed, and then you'd just find who were the most, who did you want to give them to, and just hope that something would happen.
yeah, yeah. I remember, I think Ferry Corsten has a really cool story of his early stuff. You know, all of a sudden he was in a top, whatever it was, top 20 or top 10 in UK with System F, and that was just kind of a long shot, and it ended up somebody's hand, and then, yeah, boom.
Yeah, that's it.
It's pretty cool. Well, at the same time, I mean, you know, there is Justin Bieber, who, if I'm right, was found because he sang stuff on YouTube, and you know that's possible too. It's comparable, but it's completely like a different world, though.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, there's still the same. I think today these kids have got, you know, equal if not more so amount of talent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because people can learn these days with, you know, I'm having to tell myself now to stop finding things the hard way, because I'm used to learning the hard way. Whereas today you can just go onto YouTube and find anything, and I still don't do it, even though I could save myself so much time.
Yes.
Well, I just like to figure things out, and I don't know if it's stubbornness or it's just something that's ingrained from when you're young. You'll strive so hard to try to find something. You know, you'll go to the library to try to understand what this MIDI thing is that your teachers just talked about.
But so I totally agree with you. And then this brings me to thinking, like, there's a lot of talking about this old school and new school mentality. You know, the same thing, you know, digital versus vinyl and this and that, or, you know, analog versus, you know, digital. And in a way, it doesn't matter, because if you start today, you can do whatever as long as it sounds good. But one thing that I do think about, and I'm trying to like teach that to my son, for instance, who's now 10 and he's interested in dance music. And first of all, or music in general. First of all, I didn't let him start with Logic or Ableton earlier really that much, because I wanted him to play the piano so that he actually gets to know how to play the piano for real. Because the minute you realize that you can actually quickly play something in and then tweak everything with, you know, the mouse, you might, or he might want to stop playing, because he can just do it like I do, basically. And also the same thing is that I've tried to, well, he's 10, so not that much yet, but I've tried to teach him about the actual, like, how gain works, and you don't redline a mixer or this and that, because all that basic knowledge and knowledge of the old stuff, even though if you don't use analog stuff.
So you're saying you don't redline a mixer?
I try not to.
I wish you'd have told me that earlier. Now I know.
Well, we did at Avalon, but it's okay. But so I've tried to sort of teach him something that, you know, you should look back, not that you need to like kiss ass of the people who were before you, but because they went through something and learned something, there's often actual truth in the stuff that people did learn and how they learned it. So it's useful to understand why you do something, not just do it. So,
yeah, totally, yeah.
So sometimes the easy way is maybe the easiest, but maybe you don't learn doing that. Maybe you just get to the point. And exactly, I think it's good to learn as well.
Yeah, it's because it subconsciously teaches you creativity. If you do it trial and error and you find your own way, that's what creativity actually is. Yeah. It's not reading a manual. It's actually finding, what can I do with this tool? How can I use this? I can go left or right. I don't always have to go left.
Yeah. I'm scanning the chat for questions. There are a couple of those.
See the chat.
Bob Marley's Sun is Shining original. Yeah, it is. So then I wrote down stuff. We also almost met in Ibiza in 2012. We both had our families there, and we both had our little villas, and we played phone tag numerous times, and I think we overlapped maybe 2 weeks being there, something like that, and we never got to meet. We were always like, hey, do you want to meet today? Well, no, we're on a car ride somewhere. Do you want to meet today? No, I'm teaching my son how to swim, blah, blah, blah. It was back and forth, and not even one of the club nights worked
I think we were playing the same club nights as well, and we still didn't actually catch up. I mean, I think your villa was like less than a mile away from mine or something.
Yeah.
And we still didn't catch up,
That was pathetic or something.
Yeah, I think as Tapsa came over, Orchidea came a few times.
Yeah.
We had a few parties.
Well, good. At least somebody made it. I didn't, so I'm sorry.
It seems like a lifetime ago now. I'm stuck in the house.
It does, but you know what? Anyway, sorry, I got sidetracked.
Okay.
We have what I like about the industry, and again, like the longevity of things. I'm happy and lucky that I've been around for a while, because we have quite a lot of other friends in common too. We played at the boat thing, United We Groove, last fall with Christina Sky, and I know you guys have met several times over the years as well, and she's such a sweetheart.
Yeah, she's great. She's really good. She's stayed true all through the years.
Absolutely. That thing for me, I hadn't actually done that before. That was quite mind-blowing. Basically circle the Statue of Liberty and play some tunes on a boat there in the Hudson. I mean, that was something for me. When we saw last, I think it was in Denver. Well, actually, after that we saw in Los Angeles. But I think in Denver you were asking about the footage of that night, and I found some, and I think you found some. Like we got some of the drone footage, and I've been just looking at that after the fact. That it was just quite insane, seeing like dark Manhattan there and trans going 100 dB.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. I just remember concentrating whilst I was playing, I think. And then somebody said, "Oh, look over there," and I turned around and like the Statue of Liberty was there.
Yeah.
30 feet away or something. It was crazy.
It was crazy. It was absolutely.
Yeah, I've not done
crazy.
too many. I've not done too many boat parties. Actually, I remember one years back with Above and Beyond, and it was in Brazil. And we had to get off the boat halfway through the cruise after our set, so get collected by a dinghy, some kind of inflatable dinghy, because we had to fly somewhere else for some other gig, and it was such a shame to have to leave halfway through. But
I've actually done quite many, but like a bigger boat parties. I've done have you been on a Groove Cruise?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, it's from like Miami to Bahamas and back, and or LA to Catalina Islands or somewhere there and back. And I've done several of those, and some people try and do the whole 3 to 5 days in a row and just I don't know.
I've seen the promotional videos for the latest ones.
Yeah, those are pretty cool, but I don't know. I'm too old or too out of shape to party the whole 96 hours.
Yeah. I can manage 6, not 96.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right. So somebody else. Well, Nick Wax knows of Groove Cruise. And Jenky21 is being very nice and telling everybody that you are doing a live stream tomorrow on Twitch. And what time is it?
Now or tomorrow?
Tomorrow. What time is it? Your stream?
I think I'm going to start at 7. It's just going to be trial and error, so I'm going to aim to start at 7 p.m. UK time.
7 p.m. UK.
I think that's like midday West Coast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just going to play some old tunes.
Okay.
Just a mishmash of old records.
All right, so Crin, I just posted Andy's Twitch, and it's Andy Moore DJ, right?
Correct.
Yeah, cool. And hey, let's see, I'm gonna do another drop here. These are Andy's, Andy on the web, there's the website and socials. So you can go check him out. And hey, give him a follow on Twitch so you can get notified tomorrow.
Yeah, I need some moral support, please.
Yeah. Hey, you have kids, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How's the homeschooling going?
It's not really. They're just educating themselves.
Yeah.
They're doing exactly what we spoke about earlier. They're just figuring things out for themselves.
Yeah. So there was this the biggest parents' night or parents' meeting yesterday in Finland. So the government organized, or the education authorities organized, the web parents' night, and it was quite interesting well, first of all, hearing there were like people from the education, I don't know what you call them, and some politicians and some psychologists and whatnot. It was pretty interesting listening to all of them talk, and overwhelmingly the comments from parents were something along the lines that many people were happily surprised how well they thought that their kids were actually learning.
Yeah, I agree.
And obviously some kids have difficulties if they don't have computers or if they have bad connections and something like that. And then for some kids, doing like concentrating on things when somebody's not watching can be an issue.
Yeah.
But in many cases, people were like, parents were mind blown, like how well their kids have been adjusted.
Equally in a school setting, I don't think equally in a school setting, lots of kids don't learn in that way
exactly.
either. So I would argue the fact that more kids might learn better at home because there's less pressure.
Yeah.
It's less of a forced environment like school is.
Yeah, but this is actually where I'm coming to, is like, it's interesting to see when this situation, gets better and we can have our kids back to school, whether or not, things are going to actually be changed with education and with the ways of education. Is there going to be more remote stuff, or are they going to somehow incorporate the vibe of the remote learning or whatever?
Yeah, it would be good. I just don't think the bigger powers work that fast.
I know.
So,
I know.
I don't think it takes so long to implement these things that, I wouldn't hold my breath. But it has opened my eyes, as yours, obviously, how well I think it's also something that's lacking more in kids today, because like we were talking earlier, we had to find ways to figure things out that we wanted to.
Yeah.
Today, they've got so many opportunities handed to them on the plate that they don't have to work as hard. If they put one thing down, they can pick something else up. Whereas if we put something down and didn't figure out how to use it, we've got nothing else to do.
Yeah, true.
So so I think this has been good, that it's actually forced them to have to find something to do and figure out how to do stuff.
Yeah. Hey, when before this lockdown and after, I'm guessing too, but do you have like average number a year you've done gigs?
I would say the peak of my years, it would have been roughly 75 to between 75 and close to 100. But that was just crazy. It was too much, which is when I consciously, like around 10 years ago, I consciously said, no, I can't do that anymore. It's too much. What about you?
I've actually had a couple of busier years now, but that is by design or by working on it. I like 2016 I think, or 2017 I think I did about 80 gigs, which is my highest, I think.
Yeah.
The following 2018 was 70 or something like that. In 2019 I did a little less because I took part in Eurovision, and then that took like several months where I just slowed down the gig so I can concentrate on that. And but I think I did maybe like 40 to 50 last year, and obviously now it's nil. But I've also by design I've made it smarter though, even though the numbers have been good. But there's also I have to say it, not braggingly, but we've been doing good work with promotions. We're doing tours that look, put together and whatnot. So my bookings actually have gone somewhat of an increase, and I've also taken advantage of that. And but one big thing that I changed was that the last 2-3 years I've not been away from home for more than like 1 weekend at a time, except, well, there's been 2 or 3 exceptions over this last 2 or 3 years. And while I'm busting my butt in an airplane quite a lot more than otherwise, like saying consecutive weekends in US, for instance, that would be easier for me physically. But then being home every week, even if that's like 2 or 3 days, that's made it feel like I'm not doing 80 gigs a year. But that makes me feel, and the family, that I'm actually present way more than I am. So that's been good, and we'll see how this thing turns out. And also, I know you just set up your streaming studio as well, and us getting into this and however long this lasts, this can change things as well on the end of this. We'll see. I'm actually already now planning to keep streaming regularly, even though I'll be gigging as well. Well,
yeah, definitely. It's kind of forced me to deal with things that I've been putting off for many years.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just going through all of my old music now and tagging things and just doing stuff I probably should have done many years ago.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've also shied away from doing anything face to face with the camera because it's never been my forte. So I chose to push it to the back seat and not deal with it. So this has kind of made me deal with everything like you were saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's it's good. You just got to make the most of every situation, and that it seems like most people are doing that.
Do you know what's really cool about us having to do this, and in your case, for instance, and I think Twitch is the right sort of community for this too, because most of the Twitch people who have been there for a longer time, they are gamers themselves, or they've been lurking and watching the gaming, and that community is very welcoming and accepting. And it allows us DJs and producers, while we sort of do the same thing, but it allows us to do it very differently. And I've not yet had somebody say like my streaming setup looks crappy or somebody else's looks crappy or this and that, or there's very little of that negativity in the community, and people just like us doing things and showing how we do it.
Yeah, the more, I mean, I've been aware of Twitch for a while, but the more I've ventured into it, the more impressed I've been, and I've actually become a bit of a fan of the platform myself. I've found myself flicking around, looking at what's going on, and it's like you were saying, it's everything I wanted things to be back in the day, but people were so stuck up, there was a bit of elitism and that kind of thing, which kind of made me more and more afraid of actually being in front of the camera and actually, exposing too much. But this is going to be interesting, and I like the fact that it's not all, you're not having to fit everything into 2 or 3 minutes. You can just span things out throughout the whole day if you'd like to.
Absolutely.
And just you can go to the toilet.
Yeah.
You can eat your sandwich.
Yeah. I mean, I had a bit of a gap in streaming, but like 4 years ago, I started streaming, and I did there's a week where I did a remix, and that the sessions were from like 2 to 8 hours long, and I had people just hanging out. Like some people went to bed and came back after their nap, or some people went to have lunch and this and that. It was just like, it was fun. And one thing, I don't know if you have done it already, but I highly recommend trying actual production live on stream as well. I don't know if you've done it, but for me,
I'm definitely going to be doing that for sure.
It was horrible in the beginning, just thinking that somebody's like watching over my shoulder, and especially doing like screen grabbing and showing people, I don't know, just how I arrange things and track names and whatever it was. But once I got over that, it was very liberating. Like it actually helped me with my insecurity, maybe, because then I realized that people don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. So if I just play cool and if I just do what I want to do, then that's the right thing to do. And that definitely.
The thing is, everybody's a human.
Yeah.
I mean, I've said this from when I was aware of this when I was 10 years old, that everybody that's famous, you see them on TV, and I thought, well, that person's still a human being. Yeah. And for some reason, we brushed that under the carpet for so many years, whereas actually, everybody's just a human makes human mistakes, does things in a certain way that you wouldn't expect people of that caliber to do. But that's just that, it's sustainable reality.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to doing some more production live and just seeing what happens. I started something with a community of people that were making. I just got people to send samples in to me, and I'm just going to make a track with the sounds.
Nice.
And I've done a little bit of it to start, but I'm going to do the rest live on Twitch.
Yeah.
So that I can just vibe off the people, and it's so interesting having the chat there as well, because I can just see what people are saying and take inspiration from them, and have a chat to them, and it's really cool.
So I did I have a couple of pieces of hardware that earlier, 2 years ago now already, I sampled some of the hardware and I made instruments out of those. So I just multi-sampled something and made EEST instruments, and I shared those. So that was one thing, and people were asking, like, I went through sounds and like somebody was like, hey, that was a cool sound, can you sample that? And I just sampled it. Very simply.
Hey, did you pay them royalties?
But then I also did similar thing that you did. Nothing ready came out of that, but I did like I started a track with a couple of layers of drums, a bass line and something, and I shared those stems and told people to do whatever they want with them. And then I also did one of the remixes that I did live. Somebody midstream sent me a whisper here, a message, and sent a link to a sound file, and then later a MIDI file that I actually included with a little bit changes in the remix. So that was quite cool, because that track now, it was a Dean Mason track that I had chosen, one that I remixed, and basically it happened live while I was doing it. And,
that's good.
Yeah, that's a really cool part of it, if you sort of let that happen there.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I've just seen somebody called Dreamweb saying that people are scared of where has it gone? Sharing their production, thinking people would steal the process. Well, I'm not sure too many that holds true to too many producers, because we all work together anyway, so everybody knows each other's. I actually enjoy sharing the things that I know with people. It's just I've never actually maybe just had the time or inclination to set it up to share it with the public, but that's what's good about the whole Twitch situation.
I think the thing is that some people definitely might think so, but I think for many it's the hang up of somebody seeing their process, not stealing it, but just seeing it. Like for me, it was like, I think that I'm a
because you think it's not, because I'm my own biggest critic. I don't want people seeing it, because I think people might see my own faults, not steal something I'm doing.
So I also was thinking, I still think that I'm a very slow in production, but at the same time, I'm fine with that. But if I have the camera there and nothing happens in an hour, I might get really conscious of that, right?
Yeah, totally.
So that could,
and that's the same. Sometimes as well, when you're working with somebody, you could do, like you say, working for an hour, and then you just think, I'm going down the wrong path here, and I sometimes just have to tell the other guy or girl, look, I'm just gonna have to take a 10-minute break and clear my head.
Yeah.
And then you come back in 2 minutes, it's like bam, bam, bam. You know exactly what you need to do.
But then one of the aspects is that if you are working on a track or a project that is signed to a major or another label, that they want to keep it a secret. So then obviously you can't. That's one of the reasons why some people don't do anything online.
Yeah.
And I mean, in a way, it's totally everybody's business, their own business, if they want to, do it live or not.
No, but I think the whole Twitch, the whole quarantine, is it, that Dave Dresden? That's so interesting and so fun, and like we were saying, the whole community just seems so so good, and I'm. This is why I'm thinking of keeping the live stream just on Twitch, just to invest fully in that community, so that it's exactly who's going to be following you is who's actually interested in what you've got to do. Whereas I think some of the other platforms is people from all areas of life are following you, and the vast majority probably won't be interested in the one thing you're doing at that moment.
Exactly, and it gets to the dumpster fire mode quite quickly in some of the platforms. I did simultaneous streaming a couple of times just to test it out, and I'm definitely now only on Twitch as well, and I'm just going to be like maybe doing bite-sized things, or maybe like later on I'll cut our chat, for instance, and put that up on YouTube whenever I get around to doing it, and so on. And like you said, Twitch just seems to be such a fruitful platform for all of this.
Yeah.
Hey,
Agree.
I wanted to couple more things touch on the business side or music side. You have your podcast. It's More Music, right?
Yes.
Yeah. When did you start that? Do you remember?
No idea. I'd have to Google it.
It's okay. Well, because I had a radio show, but I haven't done that now in 2 years or so, because I just simply haven't had time. I started in 2005, and I did way over 10 years. I think like maybe 15 almost. No, 12 or 13 years. But then I just literally ran out of time, or prioritizing something else. It takes a lot of work.
Yeah, exactly. It does. That's the thing. Everything takes work, and you do have to come to a crossroads at some point and decide which you want to continue. Absolutely. Which is what I'm thinking of doing with the Twitch and my More Music, is just bringing the two together and just mixing it live on Twitch instead. It's the most obvious basic thing to do.
And basically that's what I'm now doing as well. I don't know if I'm going to rebrand it or restart my Salmiakki sessions. That's the show called. But it's my Vibing Out Fridays are now that thing then, and that's my DJing. And the cool thing is that it's, whatever, 2 to 4 or not Mayon's 24 hours, that crazy dude. But, several hours of music mixed together in a week. So now there's also ammo to cut an hour or two here and there to guest mixes and whatnot if somebody wants it. So that's a bonus there too.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah. And your label, Ava, you started it 2006. How many releases have you had now? Do you remember? Do you know?
Let me Google it.
While you.
But yeah,
while you Google it, I'll tell you one thing. I actually played your and Lang's Stadium 4 Hybrid Origin last week on my set. It's a banging track, man.
Yeah.
So, and that was released this year.
Thank you.
Is that one of your latest releases?
No, it was actually produced around 3 years ago, I think. Yeah, and then I had a hard drive crash, so I lost everything. So we just released it as it is in the end, as it was.
Okay.
So
it worked just fine.
Yeah, so that's why it sounds a little bit old.
Well, that's also obviously in your brain and in your ear, because you know when it was made and how it was made and whatnot. But I think what I actually like about your DJ sets as well is that you don't seem to be going after every latest track, for instance. You rather play great music that fits the situation than try to play the newest stuff track after track.
Yeah, I try to incorporate as much new stuff as possible, but I think the genres, the kind of style which I prefer to play, and I think the crowd wants from me as well, is quite specific, and not that many tracks come out of a certain quality per week. So I'd probably find 3 or 4 tunes every week which I can incorporate into my sets. But I mean, what I'm finding at the moment is there's so much good proggy stuff as well around. I don't know how melodic techno or whatever you want to call it, which really is if you speed it up a little bit if you want to, and it works really well in a more prog trance kind of set as well. So, and as we were talking earlier, I think people are more open-minded these days. So you can go wherever you want to with your sound, and people back in the day, you'll get criticism for veering off the slightest little bit by some elitists, but today you can just do whatever you want to do.
Yes, and what's actually been
people are open to that as well.
What's been really refreshing about this DJing on Twitch basically is that you know, often, well, it allows you as much time as you want to spend, but then it doesn't. You don't feel like you see the crowd and they make you go drop after drop after drop, or because you don't see that physical reaction right there. You see the chat, and a lot of times that actually I've noticed now that I feel much freer, although I didn't feel like I was doing something forced either on, you know, live, say Avalon or wherever. But this is, it's just like people seem to appreciate just getting the music, and they seem to appreciate the more toned down stuff as well, and it's all
definitely,
good.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm really excited about, actually, because back in the day I used to make music which I wanted to listen to, not necessarily what I wanted to stand on a dance floor to, and that definitely influenced my productions. But as I was playing out more and more, I started to get influenced probably too much by what the dance floor wants, which took away a little bit of the melodic and the dreamy aspect of it.
Yeah, gotcha.
Whereas what I want to go back to now with the live shows is just stuff that floats. It can float around for 15 minutes with melodies and no drops, or, you know, you can just go wherever you want to go. There's no rules. You create the rules.
Absolutely. Cool, man. I think.
Let's see your hair anyway, dude.
My hair.
Have you? Is it being cut?
No.
Tennis ball.
No. But you know what? So my wife said that she won't do it, but we have a clipper or a machine coming, and I told her that she can cut my hair live on stream if she wants to, but she says that she would be too embarrassed, and I don't know if that would be for her or for me. But
get your son to do it. I'm going to get my daughters to do it live on Sunday, I think, and I'm going to do an ambient set on Sunday.
Do you know?
I'm just going to get them to do whatever they want to do.
Do you know what time? Should we do a simultaneous? Like people can.
Let's do it.
Channel hop. See us getting our hair done.
That's a good idea, actually. Yeah, let's do it. Let's you choose a time.
Cool. So, well, if we get the machine, because it's Amazon or whatever is being a little slow right now, but
I'll just get scissors. Otherwise, there's no excuse.
Okay. Well, so a couple of people, I guess, heard that and saw that. So we're gonna try and do that on Sunday. If my wife is listening, she's like, "Oh crap!" Cool, man. This has been such a pleasure, and one thing that I need to talk about though. So I had Prof last week and Mayan before that, and what combines us all is we had the amazing retreat at Pavos in November.
Yes.
And I think we all knew each other somehow, at least online before that, but we definitely made, you know, tight-knit friendships for life of that. And testament of that is absolutely crazy, funny, and serious WhatsApp group that we have, and we talk all the time, all the good stuff. But also a couple of cool things happened music-wise there. Mayan didn't do anything. He was just chilling, but Prof and Dave Dresden, for instance, I think you might have been in that group as well, who started a track together.
Yeah, we made a track,
and we started a track together as well. And
we've got ours. What's our group name again? Darandi or something? Darude.
It could be Dandy or Darandi. I don't know, but.
We'll put it out there to get everybody else to decide.
Yeah, but so we started a track, and not, I don't mean it that way, but right now the ball is more in your court, and I'm waiting for whether you do it all the way or whether you send me a something progressed, then we'll see. And I'm excited about
Yep.
us working together because I've always liked your stuff. So that's a very cool thing.
Vice versa. I'll get started on that soon, and maybe I'll put some of it online as well.
Yeah, that would be cool. And like I said
Awesome.
back then, no rush. When it feels good, then it's going to be the best. But I just wanted to bring that up in the stream that we have something brewing as well. Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Cool. People, go see Andy tomorrow at 7 UK time. Look it up. And it's Andy Moor DJ on Twitch. And are you on the chat, by the way?
Me, I'll hop onto the chat after this and have a chat for 10 minutes while you carry on.
Please do so.
If you don't mind.
Yeah, of course. People can get, it's easier for them then to click just on your handle and follow you. All right, mate. So I'm going to say bye. Thanks for joining me, and
goodbye. Thank you. Thank you, and I'll speak to you soon.
More. Later,
Cheers.
bye.
Enjoy the rest of your show.
Bye.
See you. Bye. Bye.
There we go. Alrighty. Mr. Andy Moor. One of the nicest guys in the business, one of the most talented as well. Top dude. And there he is. Go give him a follow and check him out tomorrow. And I'm gonna see just like one last question here. That was a long enough call for everybody. Thank you, Andy, for his time. And I have a ton of questions here, but I'm going to leave some of those for next time. Also, I wanted to take this opportunity because Andy and I talked about it, but so we all do different things on the streams. I'm doing these sort of chat things as well, and I'm really happy that people like Andy, share their time and I can chat with them, but then we can also share it with you guys. What do you want to see your DJs and producers and artists do on stream? Is there something else on top of the obvious DJ sets that you want to see? Do you want to watch like production sets? Is it more like tightly edited tutorials, or are you fine with long half-a-day production stuff? And what is the best content that we can give you? I think would be one of those questions. All right, sound design, production sets. Would like to see how Andy makes his music. Carolina Love, thank you so much. I enjoyed the talk as well. DJ said with a close-up from my POV, maybe a GoPro. Okay, I can do that. Things outside that norm. Yeah, I agree. That we're thinking. Back 2 years ago or so, I don't know, Cyrus, I don't remember if you were there, but I actually like lacquered, or whatever you call that, not stained, but this bench that I made, and people got a couple of giggles because I had my computer in my garage, and I was doing it there, and they were expecting either DJing or production. So that was funny. Oh well, yeah, Cyrus. What my son and I are going to actually take on that production a little more, because if you mean the Alan Walker cover that we made, we're going to strip all the original Alan Walker stuff off of that and use that production back, bass as to make one of his own original tracks. Have I ever made a set from scratch? I've actually made sets in a sense that I've started in the AM when I was downloading stuff and putting them all into my iTunes, and I had like 200 or 300 tracks, promos that I got that time downloaded, and I went through them quickly, and people were weirded out because I played only a few minutes or a few seconds of this track and delete, or I actually used the star system. But anyway, and it was aggravating for some people because I didn't play the music. I just quickly, but I showed my process. Then when I finally got up to the, deleting everything I didn't want to, then I took another listen and I took those tracks that I wanted to put in my radio show, which still left some tracks not unplayed. And after that, I put them in Tractor, where I find the key parts of the tracks and the markers, the grids and cue points and whatnot. And I can do that again because that's actually me working how I would work anyway. So that would be just time well spent and showing you that as well. Marana Space Marine, yeah, full making or a track from scratch. I am going to do that at some point, and I have done that as well. Well, I'm not going to do a cooking class, but I could put a little setup inside and I could DJ while cooking, like Giotto did the other day. Do I have tracks that I'm not sure to release or consider as failed? No, not like that. But yes, there are tracks that have not gotten a release yet, and I'm not willing to let go of them. I don't consider them failures, but they are maybe missing something that I've realized at some point, and those tracks are better left unreleased for now until I figure something out with them, or then I can send them to maybe somebody like Andy, and Andy can tell me if they really suck badly or if they can get a new direction going on them. Logic Pro to set up music production set from scratch. Okay, so cool. I can do that. I can show you like how to build a template, for instance, on Logic. I can do that. What helps with focus? Am I generally purely focused on music creation? Well, when I get into that mode, but sometimes it's hard. Longest sitting down without stopping, just working. That must have been like a day and a half. Thank you, Andy. Everybody go check out his Twitch thing tomorrow at 7. Andy Moor DJ on Twitch. And then andymoor.com has all his info, his Ava label releases, his podcast, links to social media, and so on and so on. Go do that. Actually, here's his social media and web. Okay, cool. Have I ever worked with an orchestra? Not directly, but I have had my tracks been arranged to an orchestra setting, and I have actually a track right now that possibly will come out as an orchestral version and a dance trance mix as well. But enough of that in this moment. Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me and joining Andy, and Andy for him to be giving this much of his time. And I will have a stream tomorrow, and it's in collaboration with Jägermeister. Their concept, Save the Night. I'm going to be playing with Orkidea, with my fellow countryman, our godfather of, or one of the godfathers of our dance music scene here in Finland. And we will be rocking it, I think, starting 8 p.m. Finnish time tomorrow night. I spoke with Tapsa earlier, and he said that, or we agreed that he's going to go first. He felt like going a little deeper tomorrow, so I'll play after him. And I think we're both playing 2-hour sets. And then Friday, my vibing out starting at 6 p.m. Finnish time, and DJing then as well. So join me there. And that's it. Stay safe, wash your hands, be kind to each other, keep your social distance, and we'll get through this. Thanks so much, guys. I'll see you next time.